Welcome back, Dota 2 fans, for our fourth and final Group D Bridon Open Cup League game of the day. We've got London Conspiracy versus Aspera, and both these teams currently 1-0 thus far in the Group D, so this will certainly bode well as to either team's chance to take first place overall. LC just defeated up Album Sheet, and Aspera earlier beating LB4E, so we'll see how they fare against one in another, but LC looking very strong thus far. I am Morris, please, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, joined by D Swordfish. We are HeflaTV, your English coverage. D, what are you looking forward to in this one?
And it's hard to say. I'm looking forward to another crazy draft by London Conspiracy, to be honest, because, I mean, when you see a team like run a Broodmother, Lena, Necrophobes core and win, it's just, it fills me with joy, you know?
Yeah.
And right now they start with the Brewmaster, which is a very standard pick, but I'm still hoping for some weird ones. The Skyrath Mage is also a very good pickup with the Brewmaster. I mean, he's just a good pickup in general, and bends it out for the possible counter for the Brewmaster. Team Aspera has a very standard, like, I mean, oldish, I guess, with the Vengeance, the Faceless Void. Faceless Void. I still see some play, but not as much as before. And I mean, very powerful combo as well, because that extra minus armor does a lot of, helps for the Void a lot. So, I don't know. Pretty strong starts by both teams, but nothing too special just yet.
Yeah, both teams kind of securing their cores with their support pickups here. The Brewmaster with the subsequent Skyrath Mage pickup, so the Ancient Seal can't be used against him. And then the Void with the Vengeful Spirit pickup, so the swap can't be used defensively on the Chronosphere target. So definitely interesting starts from both sides, and certainly strong ones. The Brewmaster was taken up against LC last game by Album Sheet, and they were able to shut it down heavily, but they will pick it up for themselves, and perhaps will be Kaiser in the mid picking it up, maybe Relax in the off lane, but generally they would throw Kaiser on that, and he's a pretty proficient on this Brewmaster. Juggernaut, Ember Spirit bans come out from LC. Troll Warlord banned out as well. A Lycan, Wisp, and Aspera has done their homework. They're going to ban out Relax's Broodmother here.
Yeah, I mean, after the last game, I'm not surprised that, I mean, they were probably watching it in fear. Just, they don't want to face that Broodmother. It was really scary. He did a really good job with him. So, I mean, congratulations to Relax, but it makes a lot of sense. The question is, though, what is London Conspiracy actually going for this time? Like, the bans are not indicative of anything special right now, but they tend to go for this draft. They don't go for, like, the solid picks draft. They tend to go for some sort of global strategy. So, I'm really wondering what their plan is this time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how they combo up with this Brewmaster. They are probably going to look to hit their stride a little bit mid-game once again with this opening 1-2. They're going to ban out the Juggernaut and the Ember Spirit. Ember is an interesting thing to take out. Sharfik does play often on it, and we saw him play earlier on it in Aspera. He recovered pretty well after a pretty poor start, but a little interesting for him to take him out soon. And we will see Aspera jump for a Darkseer here. Not a hero we see all that often, but Vacuum Chronosphere, obviously a very strong combo.
I love this. Like, I haven't seen Darkseer in ages, and he was one of my favorite heroes. He was, yeah, the Wombo combo hero of excellence, you know? Like, now you have Void, but Void is boring because he just pauses time. This guy just, it's action all around, and I really liked him. And if you combine it with perhaps something like a Sand King, maybe, with the Epicenter, something, another powerful combo. I mean, obviously Queen of Pain is also a possibility. Like, those kind of heroes, Darkseer and Faceless Void is just such a powerful combo. They can really do a lot with this.
Yeah, and the Ion Shell will give the Void early solo kill potential in the Chronosphere without picking up too many items. So Darkseer, definitely a very strong pickup here for Aspera. We'll see if London Conspiracy drafts in order to punish that. They could, of course, pick up the Sand King for themselves. Skyrath Sand King Mage, a very throwback support duo that was pretty strong at one point. Of course, the Gimp range on the Burrow Strike at level 1 isn't the best, but Sand King able to farm up and retreat to the jungle, find an early Blink Dagger along with that Blink on the Brewmaster might not be a bad pickup for LC here, but we'll look to see what direction they take it. And they banned out the Invoker away from Aspera, who banned the Bristleback from LC.
Something I was thinking about, or I mean, rather fantasizing about, would be imagine Darkseer, you know, using a Vacuum and Ion Shell on the Void, who uses a Chrono. Say he has a Maelstrom or something of the sort. He could potentially, if he gets like 4 people in the Vacuum, kill those 4 people just with the Ion Shell and the Maelstrom.
Yeah, especially with the Wave of Terror to add to that if the Vacuum is nice. So Yeah, there's definitely a lot of kill potential on paper for Aspera here. We'll see if they're able to execute it. LC going to pick up a Slark here, so Void not bad against the Slark, but if you get that Shadow Dance off, doesn't really have much kill potential in the Chronosphere there. Slark, a very elusive carry, and so far there is a bit of a lack of lockdown on the side of Aspera, but they will look to rectify that. Picking up the Storm, a lot of early game aggression from him, initiation power, and of course, he often looks for that Naked or Power Treads into Orchid Rush, and that's very effective against the Slark and the Brewmaster.
Yeah, that's actually very true. That Storm Spirit is a really good counter. The mobility is also really good. The only issue I see is him against the Doom and the Sky Mage here. But I mean, he used to be a good pick. Like the Doom is just it's a really good pickup here against the Storm, the Darkseer as well if you could get good initiation, and even the Void if you go Blink Doom. I don't know. This hero is actually quite a good counter. I would imagine Team Aspera going because they're missing one support and they really can't do much against this Doom. What support would they go for, actually?
Yeah, it's an interesting decision for them to have to make. They're going to ban out the Disruptor themselves. Enigma actually removed from LC, so this may reveal that they may be jungling this Doom here. And knowing that Aspera may be weary to that, they may have picked up a jungler of their own. So we'll see what they do with this Doom. They may look to pick up another support and just throw him in the off lane. There is kill potential with the Magic Missile and the time locks from the Void already against the Doom. So if they pick up a third pretty aggressive support here, they may have to jungle him from LC. But yeah, I expect something a little bit more defensive from Aspera. Maybe there's a Grave here. They pick up the Dazzle. Perhaps an Omni Knight isn't terrible up against what LC has to offer, especially the Skywrath's toolkit and even the Primal Split from the Brewmaster. But GA not super helpful in this one quite yet. There's not too much physical damage to be worried about from LC.
I can imagine Nomad actually being quite powerful. The Repel preventing the amazing amount of Doom damage that will go through, obviously. I mean, it's pretty. I can see it. It's pretty good. That's probably one of my pickups. I was actually thinking maybe a Chen, because could actually come out really well with Darkseer. Yeah. Gives you a lot of that potential, that pushing potential, and gives you a lot of survivability, which you kind of need with this kind of lineup. Right. Which is pretty good. On top of course, you can do the vacuum into Centaur, but they're actually going to go for a Bloodseeker.
Yeah, super greedy pick.
You think so?
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like they'll have to relegate this Darkseer to a 4 role here, and for that, I'm not a huge fan. I really like the Darkseer with an early blink in this matchup. If you get a good vacuum off, we already spoke to the potential of this lineup, and they will pick up the Sand King Skywrath combo coming out here from LC, so definitely a strong one. That will put Relax in the off lane on this Doom, so he definitely will be killable, unless they opt to run dual lanes here with Skanks and the Doom, as well as the Skywrath Mage over with Madara in the safe lane. But yeah, it's going to be a little bit hard for LC to find some traction under their Doom, but if they do, I really do favor their draft, considering that last pick Bloodseeker, albeit Bloodseeker can be a hero that gains quite a bit of momentum, and they will actually put him in the 1 position.
I was actually hoping that Bloodseeker would be a support. I think Bloodseeker support is actually quite viable, but sadly, it seems like you're right, and it's going to be a Darkseer kind of relegated into that 4 position, which it's not my favorite. Anyway, we should present the team, shouldn't we?
Yeah, definitely. Radiant side going to be picked up by Aspera. Hakon standing in for them over on the offlane. Faceless Void. We've got Sharfik playing in the mid on the Storm Spirit, along with Metpum on the Darkseer. And we will see Vaxa playing on the Vengeful Spirit. Finally, solo safe lane, the Apathy playing on that Bloodseeker.
As for London Conspiracy, we are going to have the 2 supports here leading the way. It's going to be Skanks as the Skywrath Mage and Sass Spartan as the Sand King. Meanwhile, the carry will be Dara once more on the Slark. In the mid position, we're going to have Mr. Kaiser as the Brewmaster. And finally, in the offlane Doom / mostly jungling Doom, it's going to be Relax.
Yeah, it looks like he's opted to go for the jungle build here. He does have an Observer Ward, so maybe he just picks up like a Satyr with that Unholy Aura and then makes his way down to the lane. But he does have that Stout Shield Ring of Protection with just the 1 set of tangos for now. And Bounty Rune going to be picked up both by the Radiant side here, so nice little influx there for Aspera, and definitely a good start for the solo safe lane Bloodseeker.
Yeah, this solo safe lane Bloodseeker though, do you know how? Do you think he's gonna be quite a good powerful carry, or Do you really believe Bloodseeker is still a viable carry?
Up till the maybe 30-minute mark. Beyond that, beyond that, I really think it depends on his itemization, and it looks like we might see a dual lane coming out from LC. No real kill potential from these two just now, but nice creep eat by there. Wow, English is fucking hard. Relax picks up a Satyr, so that'll allow him to have a lot of sustainability in this lane, and he'll have the regen there, so that'll force the Sand King to rotate back over towards that top lane. He's going to scare up Sharfik and take a couple right clicks for his trouble in this mid lane, but Relax looking to find some experience off a pull, which currently isn't happening right now, so... Interestingly enough from him, he'll rotate now down towards that safe lane defensive try. Centered around the Bloodseeker. Hakon going to be by himself on the Void in this off lane, but the supports are already smoked up. Spartan and Skanks rotating towards the mid, looking to find an early kill on Sharfik, and already sitting at 470 HP. He is pretty susceptible to this. They will come up the high ground, but as we mentioned before, Burrow Strike pretty underwhelming at level 1. Smoke will be popped. Sharfik going to be able to get out of range of this one, and that'll stave off any aggression from LC.
Sharfik needs to be quite careful though. Storm Spirit has no escape mechanism till level 6, so he really needs to play this a little safe. Skanks is trying to currently snipe the courier. I think he's gonna be able to. The little donkey is walking up the lane, and he's gonna see it. I think.
Dun, 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 dun. And they're not going to put it through the trees, unfortunately. Skywrath going to rotate down. One more right click. That's a bottle, so that's going to secure, even though no kill for mid lane for Kaiser, that's going to secure a heavy advantage for him. Historically, Storm does very well against melee heroes with the static remnant spam, but he's not going to be able to spam that out without his bottle.
Yeah, that's actually, I think that's better than a kill, honestly. Playing that bottle, getting more gold for your team than a kill, it was great. The very, very, very smart play by the Skywrath Mage. A little bit, I think, cocky by the Aspera team. Not, doing anything with courier, but anyway. Down bottom, we're going to see Relax actually attacking Vox. Nothing going to happen here just yet.
Yeah, so he'll be just fine in lane, though. Has found his level 2.5. You compare that to Hakon, who is 3.5 on the Void, so a little bit more stability in lane for this Void, as the supports haven't been present too often, but they now are, and they certainly do have the kill potential despite him having this time walk up. The Skywrath Mage not quite level 2 yet, so no Ancient Seal for him, and he's going to need that before they can put any punishment into this Void.
Interesting thing I've been seeing is the Darkseer, which is mostly a position 4, has been doing pretty well in the woods, actually level 3 already, which is higher than the offlane Doom. So he might actually end up being, like a 4-core lineup, even though it's not a pub. So it's going to be quite interesting to see.
Yeah, definitely pub styles with that quad core, but either way, yeah, Darkseer a very efficient jungler, certainly with the Ion Shell, and it will allow Relax to stay in lane a little more on this Doom, as he's not going to be there to pressure him too much. But already Relax, as you mentioned, not doing quite as well as the Void, or the Darkseer, so definitely favorable thus far for Aspera. Madara going to put a few right clicks into Hakon, but Hakon going to be able to back off for now. And everything going to stagnate for the moment. Very passive early game thus far. Smoke up by Spartan, and he's going to look perhaps to find a kill mid lane, but still does need that level 2 Burrow Strike. Perhaps he's able to find a Bounty Rune bottom. Still, it's not going to be enough to give him a level 3 surge forward onto Voxa. He's got the magic missile ready, but Relax is going to be just fine. Doom, one of the more tanky heroes up against magic damage early on, does have very low base armor, but his base HP pool is extremely high, so...
Yeah, gained that buff ring of protection as well. Recently buffed. Oh, wait. Sharfik actually getting killed. Wow, now mid fighting. Kaiser guys are going to get the kill on Sharfik. And I hope you caught that. Oh.
Yeah, I did. Okay, there's Thirst here, though, from the Bloodseeker, but they're not able to chase down Kaiser yet. He'll pick up an invisibility rune, but he will need to bottle up. There's still vision of him at this point. It seems like only actually, it's a level 3 Thirst coming out from the Apathy, so interestingly enough, they're not able to chase him down, but no TP rotations in from the Bloodseeker.
I think it's the only way to actually want to carry Bloodseeker at this point, because the Thirst obviously gives him the most damage, if I'm not mistaken, out of all his skills. So if you want to run a carry Bloodseeker, it's that. The real question, though, is do you go the old build of Sanjay and Yasha? Is it perhaps Radiance what you want to go for? What's the build here?
I've seen a lot of Blade Mail with Blood Rage. It's pretty good. Blood Rage comes out bot lane. There's the Electric Vortex as well as the Magic Missile. Relax will fall, and that's the first kill on the board for Aspera. So nice rotation in, but not the biggest deal. You expect your offlaner to die once or twice, and we'll probably see as he respawns the Doom rotate over to the jungle and look to recover some of that farm. But yeah, I've seen Force Staff a lot. I've seen Blade Mail, Dagon. The Blood Rage does buff up your damage, so it's almost like a double buff when you have the Blade Mail, because any damage that is reflected from the Blade Mail is actually buffed up by that. But we'll see if he opts to max that out or the Blood Right. I don't expect the Blade Mail to come out unless he looks to put a couple more points into that Blood Rage.
Yeah, it's actually, I mean, it's one of the few heroes that has pretty much a free itemization, and you can go for a lot of weird builds. And I'm kind of interested to see if he can actually last past the 30-minute mark, like you said, because a Dagon Bloodseeker is not that useful once everyone has BKBs.
Yeah, and he is going to look to try and last a bit here. Midas recipe picked up by the Apathy. He's not too far off of that Gloves of Haste there, so we'll be able to pick that up. Not sure that that's the right item choice here, but we'll see if it pans out from him. I don't know how scary a late game Bloodseeker is. Really feel like Hakon is a lot more scary, even coming out of the offlane on the Faceless Void. But Madara has farmed really well, 40 CS to him, right about at parity with the Bloodseeker at this point. Doesn't look like he's picked up any significant items at this point. Perhaps coming over on the courier is his Midas recipe, and it is, so they'll be able to pick those up about simultaneously at around the 7-minute mark.
I think the key thing in this top lane, though, is that the Void is actually farming pretty decently. I mean, not best, but he does have a lot of EXP. And the issue with the Slork is that he does have a great mid game, but he relies on getting that snowball. The Void is more like, if you can get farm, I mean, he's going to be powerful regardless. So he doesn't really rely on getting those kills early on, which is really good for Hakon. And that's probably why they're going for the Bloodseeker into the late game, because they have a Void after all. Yeah,
certainly so. So the Void will be able to pick them up, and as you mentioned, it is somewhat of a quasi-quad core lineup here coming out from Aspera. Of course, in the late game, you always do have that trump card that is the Doom, which is able to more or less remove one hero from the engagement, but we'll see how it pans out here. Relax has been shut down quite heavily in this game as opposed to on his Broodmother in the first game. We will see Spartan already starting to farm up some stacks, double stack here, going his way, looking towards that Blink Dagger with the level 2 Sandstorm. He'll pick up his level 4 here as well, so he will be able to have some ganking potential with that extra level in Burrow Strike, but should pick up a 12 or so minute Blink Dagger, which is really nice for his squad.
Oh, what'd I miss?
Yeah, this tanking is actually going to help their mid game a lot if they want to initiate with maybe the Slark, because he'll be pretty farmed by then. And then they follow up with an Epicenter. Now actually bottom, they're going to go on Relax, though. He's been used. Oh, every skill has been used on him. He's trying to TP away, but he's going to have no luck because that vacuum is actually going to bring him down. Very, very smart job. And the Darkshire actually getting level 6 with that. And on top of that, getting a considerable amount of gold. Going for that mech or Blink? I think it's a Blink Darks here.
Yeah, I would assume that the Blink. Blink looked really good in the draft, as we mentioned, so I assume the Blink's going to come out. Mech, probably he'll build into it later, unless the Bloodseeker opts for that, which is, I mean, not too uncommon, just because, I mean, Mech is a really versatile item, and as you mentioned, there's a lot of variability in terms of the Bloodseeker builds, but either way, remains to be seen. Kaiser's going to drop his bottle on the ground, and Vox are going to be able to... Oh, the courier actually was able to barely get it in time. Thought it was going to be taken out by that Vengeful Spirit, but he will give it over back to himself. Perhaps look to pick up a rune instead of Crow that back. A little bit worried about the Vengeful Spirit's presence there.
They want to get that revenge kill on the courier, but I don't think they're gonna have much luck with that. The Brewmaster's playing much more safe with it. Meanwhile, though, the Venge is gonna find Sand King. Oh, they're actually not gonna fight each other. I think that they know the Venge is there, though. So the Brewmaster's gonna play a little safer. Interesting thing, though, is Brewmaster is very close to his Blink, so we're probably gonna start seeing ganks by him. Hopefully, because and then that should start turning the tides of the game and also turning the game much more aggressively.
Yeah, and they haven't been able to use this Primal Split quite yet, so that will be certainly a nuisance. And they will smoke up off the back of that level 4 pickup as well as a Kaiser's Primal Split. There's still 250 gold to this Blink Dagger, so interestingly enough, they don't look to farm that up beforehand, but perhaps going to bait this rune out. They will find Voxa in drop a ward here, so actually that was probably scouted out by the Dire side, being as it is daytime, but they will look for the Apathy bot lane, and he is pretty darn farmed, so definitely a good target to go for, but Smoke gonna pop. He's just gonna back off really easily, and that's pretty much a gank attempt thwarted here. They will give this farm over to Kaiser. He's pretty close to the Blink Dagger. The one last hit here will pretty much put him over the edge. He can't pick that up now from the side chop if he wishes to do so. Relax also has that Doom ready, so despite not doing as well as the Void, he's actually picked up Doom before Chronosphere's been picked up here, interestingly enough.
It's actually wow, I don't know how that could probably change. I mean, now they both have both, so I guess the idea is, I think a Blink is going to come on the Doom early. He seems to be going for Midas, though.
Yeah, I mean, Midas is always a great item on Doom along with side
Yeah.
Devour. Always allows him to transition despite what lane he comes out of. So that's really the only reason he's a viable offlaner, because for any other reason than that, he's terrible in the offlane. But he's able to recover pretty well, and his ultimate is a damn impactful one. So Blink comes out now in the stash for Kaiser. He's going to get jumped on mid, though. Ball Lightning is there, Magic Missile as well. Ion Shell doing quite a bit of work. And the vacuum once again, gonna finish him off, but he just picks up his blink, so free trip back to the well for the Brewmaster. And meanwhile, top lane, Chronosphere has been committed on Madara. They'll bring him down, and that's a 2-0 across the map, going the way of Aspera, and they're looking even better than Album Sheet did in this game against a London Conspiracy.
Yeah, well, I mean, she did lose though, so I guess you can never trust yourself with London Conspiracy. But they are looking very strong, and they do have a much stronger late game with the Void than the Medusa was last game. So there's also that. And I don't know. I think it's the constant aggression they're delivering, which is probably what LC should be doing with a Slark and a Brewmaster with a Blink. That is really allowing them to take the advantage this game. And this Storm just doing an amazing job. If he can get an early Orchid, he could really turn the tides here.
Yeah, he's got the Soul Ring, so they can't really jump on him here, even though he's low on mana. Meanwhile, top lane, Madara, knowing the Chronosphere is down, putting a lot of harassment to attack on, but he's going to be able to back off just fine. Almost level 8 on the Void, and already with the Aquila up, should be able to complete up his treads fairly soon. Relax, as you mentioned, going for that Midas, but hasn't been able to use a Doom quite yet, and they really need some usage out of these ultimates in the Primal Split, in the Doom, and even the Mystic Flare, which is not quite out yet from Skanks, but should be out fairly soon here. They will bring over Relax to this mid lane and dare Sharfik to return, and if they get that Doom off on the Storm Spirit, he should be, barring some massive TP rotations, left for dead.
Do you think in this case the Doom should, I mean, LC should start forcing a team fight, or?
Yeah, I mean, with the Chronosphere down and the Primal Split up, they definitely should go for it. Apathy, though, is going to scout out Relax here. He's going to have rotations in from Sharfik. On the backside, though, is the Skywrath Mage, so they can Doom and Mystic Flare, and if they don't overlap those, silence up both these targets. So Apathy going to rotate around to the jungle, look for a better target here. He may run into Kaiser, but Blink Split is available. They've definitely pinged him out, and they know that the Blink is available now, so they aren't going to be able to have a great reveal on that. Zip forward from the Storm Spear, but instant Blink out from Kaiser. Good reactions from him, and they won't be able to find anything off the back of that. A bunch of mana wasted from the Sharfik Storm Spirit, but with the Soul Ring, it's not a real detriment to him.
Now it's going to be Hakon who's going to use a Chronosphere in a very defensive fashion. Never mind. It's going to be Spartan who's going to die first. Madara now using his ultimate to get away here, and he might still die regardless. There is a Bloodseeker here. She should be seeing. Yeah, there's the Thirst, and also that Rupture is going to be enough to finish him off. Brewmaster now comes in a very desperate situation, trying to use his ultimate to get a kill, but he's probably not going to accomplish it. He's trying to go for the Storm maybe, but the Storm has his ultimate regardless, so everyone's going to be okay. Very, very good fight by Aspera, getting 2 very good kills, especially the one on the Slark, who's been completely underfarmed this game, despite him having, you know, the Midas. He's really not doing as well as he should. Now this is continuing with Baxa finding Skanks, the beautiful swap. Apathy actually getting the skill. Good job. The Doom, though, used on the Darkseer. Now the Blood Right. Now on Kaiser getting silenced for a couple seconds, and they really want to kill this Darkseer. He's going to go down finally. Baxa now in trouble. Actually, no, it's going to be the Brewmaster who's in trouble. Kaiser maybe going down. There's the Storm Spirit, and there's the Void as well, just to finish these 2 guys off. Now they're going to go on Spartan, who's the last guy alive for LC, besides the Slark, who just recently revived. The Slark is trying to do something, but he's not going to be able to do anything, actually, if he fights against a 4. So no, never mind. They're actually trying for more aggression, maybe catch someone that's, I don't know. No, never mind. They're not going to catch anyone.
Yeah, very nice engagement there for Aspera. A huge chunk of experience and gold going their way, and they're able to split up the engagement. The Skywrath Mage rotating in, looking to find the Storm, who was Yuled up there by the Storm aspect of the Panda. Wasn't able to get that Ancient Seal off, and therefore just able to zip away and to safety. And they bait out the Primal Split early, as you mentioned, off the back of that Chronosphere, and the Brewmaster, a little bit desperately so, popping it, doesn't find anything, and it's a huge engagement going Aspera's way. Taking a look at the metrics now, they've generated over 5k in terms of net worth lead, and about the same in experience, and the Apathy farming right beside Skanks in this bot lane, perhaps was scouted out briefly by this Observer Ward here. He will be pinged out, and it looks like Skanks will rotate into the trees.
Oh my god. He got blocked in by the creeps for a second.
Relax rotating in, Doom up in 5 seconds as well. Burrow Strike will be here from Spartan, and they're just going to use the Ancient Seal, Mystic Flare. Definitely good to save that Doom here, and they will bring him down with the Arcane Bolt, the Centaur Stomp whiffing a little bit from Relax, and Hakon does have the Chronosphere available, but not willing to go in with no follow-up, and he doesn't have a Mask of Madness, so really no solo kill potential for the Void.
That gave 620 gold for the London Conspiracy team, so that's pretty good, actually. That's a pretty good pickoff. I mean, obviously, the Bloodseeker with his insane net worth is probably the best pickoff here. Yep. So, I mean, he has to be a little bit more careful. When you carry a Midas, you really can't farm alone too often unless you have very good wards, and they don't have any defensive wards right now. They're in their own jungle.
Yep, all the vision is of the Dire. There is some high ground stuff here from the Radiant and some aggressive vision, but not looking to make a gank there. And they feed over their highest worth target, as you mentioned, but still some good item progression. Yasha does come out, so perhaps, as you mentioned, he does go for that S and Y build. Manta isn't terrible here, as they do have the Ancient Seal available to them from the Skywrath Mage, but would expect it to be an S and Y eventually. It looks like he'll go back for a BKB beforehand, though. And Sharfik, he's not going to pick up his Orchid 16 minutes in. Not a terrible timing, especially considering the 1 death up on the Storm Spirit. So that'll be very invaluable up against both the Doom and the Brewmaster.
Yeah, this Storm Spirit now has the perfect initiation, but they're actually going to go on the Apathy. No, never mind. The Sand King is actually going to get ruptured here. Blood Right is coming as well. And Sand King, oh, blinking. Wrong move there. He didn't blink far enough, so the rupture obviously triggered. Now they're going to go on Sharpik, who's going to be doomed up. And Sharpik's probably going to go down. The Chrono though coming up. Not gonna barely graze the Spirit in the swap. What a beautiful swap. Swordsman is still gonna die, however. Very unfortunate by their part. Now Basis Void is up in the air. The Apathy's in trouble. There's the wall as well, trying to deter the movement from the enemy team, but the Apathy's gonna go down regardless. The Void is the next target. Can he go down? They really want to get him. That beautiful stun by the Doom, and that ultimate by Skywrath Mage ensures this beautiful kill on the Void.
Double kill going the way, going in the way of Skanks. Beautiful anticipatory pounce there coming out from Madara with the Bloodseeker rotating around the trees here, and he's able to bring him down. Double kill going the way of the Slark as well. Huge engagement. They bait out the Chronosphere, and they get quite a bit out of that engagement. It was a nice swap onto the Storm Spirit, but Slark rotating in from the south was able to pick him off as he tried to exit the fray, and able to pop that Shadow Dance and keep healthy until the rest of his team re-engage there. And now Relax, sitting with a 1900 gold, is going to get jumped in on, Orchided up, and he'll probably drop here to the Storm Spear from Sharfik. That's a very nice solo kill, as he was very close to a Blink Dagger there, and he'll bring him down with his Midas off of cooldown, and I can't stand when I'm dead with my Midas off cooldown, so unfortunately for Relax, he's gonna have to wait that out.
Things that make rage.
Yeah.
Midas off cooldown and yeah, I can get that. That's actually a lot of gold lost for the Doom, especially because, like you said, he does need to recover, and I think he's going for the blink as well, so he really needs to use it whenever he can. But this game for now is actually being mechanically pretty impressive. Like, the things they're doing, these two teams, is like kind of like a ballet. Those, like, it's very beautiful movements. And right now they're both executing very well, and LC is actually managing to get back into the game, which is kind of good for them, really.
Yeah, I didn't expect Aspera to put this much of a fight up against LC, but they've executed well. Mass TPs to the top lane. They've got rotating in Madara as well under the cover of Shadowblade. He's going to find the Darkseer, pounces there. He'll get vacuumed back with the Dark Pack, mostly going to hit off. The Bloodright will be there, but it's only going to delay the inevitable. Sandstorm going to tick down this Darkseer here. They will be able to extricate themselves from danger, is the rest of the lineup there from LC, but they do drop the Wall of Replica. Not the biggest cooldown at this point, but they lose their Darkseer, who also has his Midas off cooldown in the well.
Yeah, right now, oh, there's going to be the Storm actually jumping in and trying to get a kill, but the Epicenter used just for Charfik, who's going to manage to get away with a last-minute ball lightning. Wow, Epicenter lost it for him. The Storm has Shadowblade. Now he's trying to find the Storm Spirit, who did... Oh, wow. What? Oh my god.
Yeah,
I
that's
can't believe
really unfortunate. But Hakon's going to be killed up top lane. He's doomed up, being chased down by the fire blooming. It's ticking him down as well as the Doom. He's actually going to get denied to Vax. A nice turn and well played there from them. They'll deny up the gold and the experience for that kill. Bloodright goes out, BKB popped by the Apathy, but Brewmaster is going to be able to go back into his normal form. Should be able to blink away here. No, he actually gets right click at the last moment. Vacuum a little bit short there. The Thirst Vision giving the Apathy the ability to bring down that Sand King, and a zip forward from Sharfik, trying to chase down Kaiser here, but He's pretty tankable. He's hitting the Soul Burn there. Magic Missile going to be enough to slow him down. Soul Burn from the Orchid brings him low enough. One last right click from Sharfik. That's 2,300 gold onto this Storm Spirit. And just after a great engagement from LC, Aspera taking one right back.
I think the biggest detriment, I guess, in that fight was the fact that they didn't have a Slark. So the lack of Slark really hurts them there. He's really a huge damage dealer. He has been farming pretty efficiently, despite his, 2 deaths, but he has been farming really well. So they really need him in those fights. And without him, I think they just don't have the damage output to do anything. Now they're going to go on the Doom, though, swap, and the Bolt Lightning just coming in, plus a really, really good silence there just to finish off the Doom. That wall was a little bit unnecessary, I would say.
Yeah.
But
he was kind of just standing still there for a moment, and 2,000 gold up on the Doom, and he dies, so almost had his Blink Dagger. Really unfortunate for him.
Yeah, that's actually very true, and now they're gonna push this tower very well. I mean, they're gonna probably tower trade, but the mid tower is obviously more valuable due to the map domination, like the map domination that it gives you. So they're not the best of trades for LC right now.
Yeah, and they may not even be able to bring down this tier 1 before a Glyph and TP rotation comes in if Aspera are so inclined to do so. But it looks like they will just concede it over. They are going to Glyph just to delay things out. Madara actually going to take a couple right clicks from the tower. He will be able to Shadow Blade out and get underneath that Shadow Dance passive, however, as he pleases. So should be just fine. The Apathy coming in with a Rupture available to him, but the Shadow Blade barely going to give that Slark enough to get away, and they could look to re-engage here onto the Apathy, and Burrow Strike, jump in, Mystic Flare as well committed, pounces there from Madara, easy kill, and after seeing the Slark in lane, the Apathy just walks in headlong looking to farm that and feeds over his life. That's the highest net worth target in the game, being given over as a gift to LC.
Honestly, I see constant plays by the Apathy where he's a little bit too cocky with his farming. They need more defensive wards, first of all, and second of all, like you said, there was a Slark there, and he just goes in like, I'm immortal, but obviously he's not, and he actually has very few escape mechanisms, so I don't know how much I like this. He needs to be a little more careful. Yeah. On top of that, he's building a Yols, which is interesting, but it's not a very carry-ish item.
No.
What do you think of this?
Well, I mean, it's there to set up the Blood Right more often than not. And,
yeah, obviously.
The Slark the Silence isn't bad versus Doom Brew, as well as the Slark, but with the Dark Pack getting off, you can actually purge off Yules, so if you see him coming in, you just pop that Dark Pack, and the Slark should be safe most of the time. I got to agree, I think there's a little bit more right click necessary for the side of Aspera, especially Hakon being as underfarmed as he is. He's barely going to pick up his Mask of Madness underneath this wave, so they really do need the damage output from the Bloodseeker, and I don't know if Yules is quite going to give them that, but either way, he will pick it up here, and we'll see how it pans out for him. Blink out from Kaiser will keep him safe for the time being. Meanwhile, top lane, they found the Storm Spirit, but he was able to zip and TP out, presumably, and he picks up a Perseverance as well as his Ultimate Orb, so it looks like he's on the way to a Lincoln Sphere.
He just walked off and TP'd away. It was the weirdest play. But now they're actually trying to smoke up and get a kill here. It's only 3 of them, though. And they do, I mean, the Void, like you said, not much damage output. So, oh, never mind, they're going to go on Voxa. Really weird Chronosphere now. Vox trying to get away, and Spark trying to dive. Yeah, he is going to go down there. And now the Doom using the Doom on the Apathy. And there it is. The Sky's teammates goes down, the Lax goes down afterwards. And now they're going to try to bring down the Brewlings. The Air Brewling is the only one left. They're actually going to bring all the Brewlings down. There it is. Spark comes in. Not the smartest choices, my friend. You might want to get out of there. He's going to go for Venge regardless. And they're going to stun him out and use that ultimate from the Bloodseeker. They're going to try to kill the Stark here, and he's just going to TP away. Very smart choice by him, Sport.
Yeah, he'll pick off a return kill there, but still massive engagement going Aspera's way, and already with the BKB pop by the Apathy. I mean, the silence is nice from the Doom, but not doing much work, and probably should have used it on Sharfik. Either way, Relax comes in a little bit too late for it to really have mattered, but Madara surviving there is certainly big. He'll pick up his full Scotty here, and so is still being relevant and staying at par with farm of the Storm Spirit and the Bloodseeker. But now that Lincoln Sphere is out, they're going to have to be diligent about popping it, and their Brewmaster really hasn't been able to do much there. As you mentioned, a little bit of an awkward chrono, but either way, the Brewmaster split pretty underwhelming in that engagement. Zip forward in the mid lane, Orchid up onto the Sand King as well, and with the Lincoln Sphere there, Ancient Seal not able to be popped off onto that Storm Spirit, and he'll be able to get away. Easy solo kill for Sharfik.
And you have the Storm Spirit, which is the complete opposite of the Brewmaster, doing an amazing job this game, like having a huge impact here. And I mean, they're going to have to use the Skyrath Mage probably to pop his Lincolns, which is going to be quite hard if he's zipping in and out. It's kind of hard to catch the Storm Spirit, so pretty good pickup. And, I mean, his impact is just impressive. Kaiser, on the other hand, not doing so much. If he gets caught in any sort of silence or Corona, he's just kind of useless, and his impact is slowly going to decrease as time goes on because he is a Brewmaster after all.
Yep, and the the Faceless Void is going to get more and more effective as he begins to start accruing some farm here. He'll probably look to pick up a Maelstrom next. That'll accelerate his farm and his ability to recover. And definitely, as this Doom is pretty under-farmed, the Void will probably become more and more valuable relative to him. But 4-man smoke coming out here from the side of Aspera. They may run into Madara, who is Shadowbladed up. He may just pop this smoke though and look to back off. He's got Skanks with him. Magi double chrono drop from Hakon, and this is an easy 2-person kill there. Vacuum gonna finish the job on to Skanks, and Hakon gonna find the last right click onto Madara, and that's absolutely huge for Aspera. They'll be able to take a Roshan off of this if they so please, or they can zip downtown towards the mid lane, but Relax able to get back up that hill. He can blink away as well. And huge win going Aspera's way. They will elect to go for Roshan off of this.
Yeah, and this is a pretty good pickup here. The Roshan's maybe gonna go to Bloodseeker, or actually no, Stormfly is the best option here.
Yeah.
Stormspeed
a great Aegis carrier as well as a cheese carrier. So.
It's actually true. The Storm is just benefits from both. He can just carry both down, and it's going to be quite hard to kill the Storm now on top of everything. He's also going to be able to do a lot of damage with his Aegis because he's going to be able to go balls deep and just kill everyone here with not much concern for his own life. This can turn into a very scary scenario for LC if they don't do something about it.
Yeah, certainly so. With that Lincoln Sphere, he can use his entire mana pool in that first engagement and just look to go absolute ham and do as much damage as he can. Just to add salt to the wound, he's going to pick up a regen rune as well. So effectively like 3 mana pools available in the Aegis, as well as that regen rune for Sharfik. And he's going to look to find something off of this with the rest of his lineup up behind him. And already it seems like LC is privy to this fact that off that Aegis, they are going to look for some push. TP is available onto Spartan, and he'll probably look to return here. They are going to need a very big epicenter in this one, but it's going to be tough up against that elusive Storm Spirit, and without the Doom on him, he won't be able to be locked in position.
Yeah, that's exactly it. They really need a Doom to have a possible sort of initiation here, but they're really not being very lucky with that, and they're going to be able to get this tower no problem here. I mean, can they maybe capitalize into tier 3? No, they're going to push back, and due to the pressure that Madara is putting down in the bottom lane.
And they may even be able to find this Slark, but he's going to think better of it, and wisely so. He'll back off. I'm not going to get rushed up. A zip down from Sharfik. He's going to look for something with the clear vision from the Remnant. It's actually barely not enough to see the Sand King, who is able to blink out further. And the SK making the way, zip forward though from the Storm Spirit. Sharfik is going to find out Skanks, and easy solo kill going his way. Lincoln's keeping him safe just enough from that Ancient Seal to bring down the Skywrath, and already godlike streak up onto Sharfik.
Yeah, the Sharfik is just doing a great job here. His next time is, do you think it's going to be a Hex on the Storm Spirit, or maybe just a actually no, never mind. Do you think it's going to be a Hex on the Storm Spirit?
Yeah, it looks like a really good item in this one up against that Slark. They can Madara's really the only target they're worried about at this point, and if they're able to hex him up and even overlap it with the Orchid, he'll be absolutely dead. But I mean, doing as well as he is, he could pick up a Bloodstone as well. Hakon gonna get doomed up in the top lane, and Primal Split also committed for that. So a lot of commitment there, but they bring down the Void. Definitely a worthy kill coming out from the side of LC. But now with Sharfik's Aegis in tow for another 2.5 minutes, they'll definitely be able to cue some aggression, knowing that those teamfight ultimates are down.
Yeah, that's actually what they need to do right now, I would say. If they can capitalize on it, never mind. Actually, Madara's going to go down here with the blood, right? This is probably the worst case scenario for them, because Madara can't buy back. Actually, no. He just bought something, so he can't buy back anymore. And they can take maybe a tier 3 with this. The guys at LC are going to be forced to maybe force a bad team fight here just to defend their tier 3s.
Yeah, and this will be an easy tier 2, completely unabated. There is some backdoor protection here with the wave coming in as well. and they will bring that down with relative ease. The Apathy's picking up the last hit there, 3,100 gold. He did opt for the Manta, so completed that up against the Ancient Seal there. Chronosphere completely going to whiff in the off lane. Nice blink out to the north from the Sand King. But meanwhile, Sharfik picks off the Skywrath once again in the mid lane, and Skanks is absolute food for the Storm Spirit at this point. He's got 5,100 gold, can pretty much purchase up that Bloodstone if he so pleases, but can also pick up a Mystic Staff on the way to the Hex, and either of those two items will be very good considering the momentum Sharfik has at this point.
Meanwhile, let's look at a guy we haven't, a Bloodseeker actually, we haven't paid attention to him for a while. He has a Manta style finish. He's going for the Reaver, maybe a Satanic or a Heart, depends on what he wants to go for. He's actually becoming quite a considerable carry because he's hard to bring down and offers a lot of help to the team in general. Yeah. So becoming kind of a utility carry, pretty useful. Honestly, been doing a really good job this game.
Yeah, certainly so, and like they haven't pressured him enough, just not too worried about it. Sharfik gonna jump in mid lane, blink out from the Sand King, but he's just got so much mana. He's jumping right into Kaiser as well. He's got the Aegis looking to bring him down low. And did he pop his BKB? No, there's no BKB. That's Kaiser's BKB. Bloodright is there available to cover his retreat. Sand King gonna drop down to the Rupture. Mystic Flare whiffing completely. BKB popped by the Apathy. He's gonna dodge the Stomp. He'll get doomed up, but it's way too late, and there's no follow-up. Mech only gonna delay the inevitable, and the Epicenter completely whiffing here. Hakan gonna jump in. The last two ticks of the Epicenter will hit onto the Storm Spirit, but that's more or less it. Buyback comes out from the Doom, but Doom is down. Blink from Kaiser backwards, and zipping around everywhere is Sharfik. He's got 11 charges on his Bloodstone, so not willing to feed that over. He did end up purchasing that up. Burrow Strike out onto the Apathy. The Stomp will be there as well. They'll bring him down. Clap goes out onto Vax as well as Sharfik. Sharfik getting very low. He does have the 12 Bloodstone charges here, but he will be dropped down. And this is a big return for LC, but dieback happening from the Doom. Madara is scouted out with that Chronosphere, and he'll be brought down. Certainly worth it there. And overall, no buybacks available except for Madara's Slark, and they can continue to go from the side of Aspera. They have a Storm Spirit respawning in 10 seconds by virtue of that Bloodstone, and they are going to continue to push.
There's a gem, by the way, on the Dark Sea, which is I'm pretty sure how they saw the Slark. Now, it's going to be Hakan pushing this tower, and I mean, the Brewmaster's there, but he doesn't have his ultimate, so he's pretty much, he's not going to do much. It is only going to be 3 of them. Until Storm comes, they're going to have quite a lot of trouble. Storm is rushing in there, and he has a lot of mana, enough to just kind of zip in, and they want to take advantage of this time where Slark is down, even if it's just to force a buyback. Yep. That would actually hurt him a lot.
Yep, no Roshan available as well, so they probably should look to go high ground here. Even without their Bloodseeker, they're actually just going to wait for the delivery of Hakon's BKB here on the Void. He's got no Chronosphere for a little while here, 60 seconds, so maybe they just look to force this buyback. But Doom is respawning in 10 seconds, and the Slark not too far off of that. So it looks like, for now, Aspera going to play it safe. I would have liked to see them put some more chip damage into that tier 3, but either way, without the Epicenter, without the Primal Split actually just respawning now, so perhaps it would have been a little bit overzealous from them.
I mean, Aspera's taking it safe because as well, the Voices Void only has a Mask of Madness and a BKB. He is still quite underfarmed, and I guess they're just kind of waiting for him. I mean, Darkseer has more farm than him, so they're kind of waiting for him to get a little bit more farm, which is fine. Because Chrono alone, without him having, a damage, it's not that strong anymore, because the Iron Shell obviously doesn't help out that much anymore. So I guess that's probably what they're waiting for. I mean, but they could probably start ending this right now before the Bloodseeker starts getting, much less effective.
Yeah, definitely so. He is going to fall off at some point is the Apathy, but perhaps has an item on the Courier. It doesn't look like it. Only 1,000 gold after dying there, so no progression aside from that Reaver. And we will see most of LC being grouped up here. They are a little bit worried about the pick-off potential of Sharfik, and they will use the Shadow Blade to look to scout things out and initiate here, but they're not going to find much in that Radiant jungle, as most of the lineup is behind the Apathy in the mid lane. And pings coming out from the Radiant side. They're going to look to scout the high ground with the Wave of Terror and that Clear Vision from the Remnant, but actually the entire lineup of LC to the south, and they've actually been circled out by Hakon, so they are quite well aware of where LC are, but perhaps they look to find this tier 2. Glyph is available, however, for Aspera, and they've got TPs only on 2 members of their team in Hakon and Vaksha.
I think this tier 2 for the guys at LC is much more important than the guys at Aspera, because that means they're going to be able to put some pressure onto the enemy team without, because they have no other outer towers. So, I mean, I know this trade is really valuable, but at this point, you might as well do it, because you already lost your tower. There's no point in going back. And if you destroy the final out of tower, if you're Aspera, you do put a lot of pressure in the sense that you can push from any lane and they really can't do anything about it.
Yep. Madara did find the last hit. Very nice there for LC. He's got 3k gold now. Could look to finish up that Abyssal fairly soon, and he has been decently survivable in these engagements. Zip down from Sharfik. He's not going to find much, but they are going to look to force back TPs, and little do they know, only one more member other than Hakan has a TP up on the side of Aspera, so they could look to put some pretty significant damage into this tier 3 here. TP does come back, and there is a Chronosphere here from Hakan, but Madara a little bit too tanky at this point. While a replica is going to be popped, Zip in, Orchid is there onto Madara. The Thirst and the Gem will give him the vision. Primal Split popped here, but there's no follow-up from the side of LC, and actually everyone just TPing out. He's trying to get away this Bruling, and he will try to feed over the Earth one and windwalk away the Storm one, and they're not going to bring down the Earth, knowing that he will come back to that smart play from Aspera. They should be able to bring him down, barring a blink out here, and he's not going to be able to do so. Will be used up for good measure. Bloodright is there as well. Kaiser going to feed over his life, and all they pretty much get is 350 damage on this tower.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't definitely not worth it, especially because they lost the Slark. The Brewmaster's not as important. I mean, if you saw the Storm Spirit, he zipped from halfway through the map, and he just dealt so much damage to the Slark. That ball lightning, the damage it deals is actually quite considerable. So, very good play by Sharfik. I think he needs to do this right now if they want to bring them the Slark, like you said, it's really tanky, until the Void gets the farm he needs. And the Void's getting quite close. If you notice, he's actually, I mean, his gold per minute is getting slightly better. I mean, he's at 342, which is not a lot, but he's getting slightly better, and he will be able to buy his Maelstrom, I would say.
Yeah, probably will be a Maelstrom. I would expect that item certainly to come out for him. The Mjolnir not bad. Zip forward from Sharfik, easy kill. Using I was gonna say the vision there, but perhaps this ward did scout him out briefly, farming up the camp there. And Sharfik, 11 Bloodstone charges on him, 19, 3, and 9. Those 11 Bloodstone charges certainly not quite indicative of how well he's been doing in this one. And they are gonna look to force high ground here with the split on cooldown. And the Bloodright is gonna be popped. Zip forward from the Storm Spirit. He's not gonna find much here. They're just going to look to take down this tier 3 relatively easily. No contest here. Jump forward from Kaiser. He'll BKB up. Split is now available. Jump onto Hakan. The Chronosphere is onto 2 though. Madara getting very low, but the epicenter is there. It's not doing too much work as Hakan's BKB was already popped. Madara going to be brought down despite having that Shadow Dance. Doom up onto Sharfik, but they don't have any follow-up here. Instant buyback from Madara. He will look to rejoin the fray, but the Doom is now over onto Sharfik. He can look to zip out. Mystic Flare is there. It kills off the Darkseer, but they lose their Sand King as well. Zip forward from Sharfik onto Relax. He's doing tons of damage right now. Relax will pop his BKB and be able to back off, but the right clicks are coming out from Hakan. They'll finish him up. Yule Scepter up into the air onto Kaiser. Madara, the only one still surviving. They do pop the Aegis now. And the Slark looking to man up against the Void. He will have to pounce out, however. Zip forward from Sharfik. Orchid is there. And the Electric Vortex pulling back Madara. That's a dieback, and generally speaking, probably will be GG here for LC. They lose an entire lane of racks. 100 seconds down is Madara. They have no Doom, no Primal Split, despite Kaiser being alive. And they will try and drag this out till a bitter end. But Aspera looking very good in this one.
Yeah, they're doing a great job here. They're going to be able to take 2 wins or racks for this one, maybe even 3 actually. If I mean, until the Slark comes back, they really don't have much to do. The Brewmaster has the split in 30 seconds, which I think should be enough for them to take the last lane of racks if they choose to do so. Then they just go for Throne. They can perfectly do any of those 2, and I don't know, Sharfik is just kind of unstoppable at this point. Yeah,
the Storm Spirit looking so good. He's got 5,300 gold in addition to the 15 charges on his Bloodstone. He's effectively standing in a fountain at this point with that many charges, and he'll pick up the full Scythe of Vice at the side shop as well. And I don't know that they have the wherewithal to defend this, especially considering their Slark is down. So as you mentioned, looks like these the target is this last set of racks here. Jump right in from Sharfik. Orchid's up, skanks, and brings him down with relative ease. The Chrono is onto 2. Bloodright Vacuum is there as well. Kaiser gonna be brought down under the Chromosphere. The Doom will be popped onto Sharfik, but there's absolutely no follow-up. Kaiser gonna jump in with his BKB, look to get his split off, but once again, not gonna do much. Epicenter is there onto quite a few, but it'll only bring them all about to half HP, and Spartan just gonna get cleaned up to the Bloodseeker, and Sharfik still zipping around, so survivable on this Storm Spirit, and it's just laughable at this point. Triple kill going the way of Apathy. Bloodstone or Burrow Strike is going to be blocked by the Lincoln Sphere. Sharvik just fine. He'll hex up Kaiser, bring him down as well. Double kill going the way of the Storm Spirit, and 48-17 is your final kill score. Sharvik, an absolute monster on that Storm Spirit.
Yeah, honestly, that game might have seemed very one-sided, but there was beautiful displays of amazing mechanics and really good team fights by both teams. So honestly, congratulations. They should both come out of this game pretty happy.
Yeah, and the drafting there from Aspera, just well played to them. They shut me up with that Bloodseeker pick. That vision really over the Shadow Blade of Madara helped them to garner a couple of kills on that Slark, and he was really the only person they were worried about. So maybe the Shadow Blade, as opposed to a Blink, I should say, probably a poor pickup from Madara. But either way, can't really fault him for his play in this one. Pretty much the only player who was really any influence in this one from LC. But either way, LC going to be brought down 1-1, considered the strong favorites for this group. Aspera going to take first place overall. They're now 2-0 in Bridon Group D. That ends the coverage for today on HeflaTV, guys. We're starting tomorrow, HeflaTV 2, 16 CET with some JDL at 15:30. I believe we're going to start over here on HeflaTV 1, correction, 15 flat CET with some more Bridon Group D. I am Mars Peace, your resident Canadian Dota 2 caster, joined by D Swordfish. We are HeflaTV, your English coverage. If you enjoyed the cast, you can catch our Twitter handles up in the stream title and follow us on Facebook and Twitter at //HeflaTV. D-Sword, any last words for the fans?
Just hope to see you guys tomorrow for some more great Dota.
Yep, GG guys.